Warning: this video explores mature themes that some viewers might find disturbing. If you or anyone you know needs help, please visit the link provided in the description. Thank you. You put your head in your hands, crying and shaking, letting all the frustration out in a flood of tears as you curse everyone you've ever known. Your mother, your father, Tenzin, your foster parents, Christian and Julia. They never really cared for you. They only cared about their own drives and goals. Fuck them. You want to hurt yourself again. Badly. And you start looking around for something to use. Something sharp. Something hard. You notice that Tenzin's bag is still on the bus floor and you grab it, determined to find something inside that might serve as a tool. As you open it, you realize there's nothing in it that would be useful for inflicting pain. Only notes. Lots of written notes and drawings. You're about to throw it aside when something catches your eye. It's a drawing of a chair, exactly like the one you found in your parents' basement. Your desire to hurt yourself is replaced by sudden curiosity. What did Tenzin think was important enough to keep all these years? As the bus takes you closer to home, you start reading his notes. The writings are a jumble of personal notes, copies of other texts with footnotes scribbled in the margins. Tenzin was researching something. The writings are hard to follow, but after a while you start making sense of what Tenzin was trying to achieve. Through studying ancient Buddhist texts, ceremonial magic, as well as modern scientific research, he was looking for what he called the severed nerve. According to Tenzin's notes, the ancient and modern texts seem to agree that there's a part of our brain, or our soul, that makes us appreciate pain. Tenzin was trying to make this part useless. This would, according to Tenzin's theory, make it so that pain no longer has any influence over the person. By killing the severed nerve, pain will not have any influence, and neither will Cain, Tenzin writes. As you read this, your heart skips a beat. There's a way out, you think. Killing the severed nerve seems to have been achieved in ancient times by religious rituals, putting the subject into a deep trance. In modern times, doctors and wizards tried clumsily through lobotomy. In both cases, the side effects often led to the subject losing their sense of self, becoming just an empty shell of a person with no intellect or personality. However, by combining the techniques, Tenzin believed that there would be a greater chance of success. The writings make it clear that Tenzin had prepared this in your parents' basement. He had built the chair and prepared the ritual. This is what would have set him free, and perhaps your parents as well. Willfully obliterating one's self is the alternate way of making the greatest sacrifice that Cain requires, Tenzin writes. This seems like madness, but what other choice do you have? You'll need the black nail, and so you pick it up. Tenzin must have run out of time, you think, just as your parents did. At the end, they were all claimed by Cain to join the flock. You stare out the window wondering, if Tenzin had succeeded, would things have been different? Would your parents still be here? Somehow you doubt it. You have a feeling that Tenzin didn't really care about your parents. I might still have some time though, you think, and this is my last chance. I need to go back to Koppischweg too. You're going home. The words feel strange, it's like a lie, but somehow it feels fulfilling knowing where your home was. Your life had so many parts that never fit together, so many thoughts slumbering under the surface, so many feelings that you couldn't trace. And now that you know, even through all the tragedy, there's a feeling of relief. The pain you felt, it was always your companion, your lover even, but it was never your own choice. You were brought to the deep waters and you were scarred for life. Your head was filled with ideas of freedom and surcease. But it was not freedom. It was a barbed wired chain holding you to an otherworldly influence that dictated your whole life. This is the time to finally break that chain. You walk slowly through the house. The memories are still here. You're flooded by bittersweet sensations of being able to recall your parents' faces, but also watching their rapid decline. There's a lump in your throat. You swallow it. You make your way down to the basement. It's the same as when you were here last. Cold, damp, a dark room with concrete walls and floor. In the center of the floor is a waist-high black iron brazier filled with unlit coal. Next to it on the floor lies what looks like an ornamental dagger and a cup made of silver. The wall opposite the entrance holds the mural painted of the now familiar tree of iron, with black chains attached to the wall hanging from its branches. In the right corner of the room is the chair. You walk up to it and put the black iron nail into the helmet. It seems that Tenzin already prepared for the ritual of the severed nerve. In Tenzin's notes, he describes an idol of the tree. You didn't notice it before, but now that you have Tenzin's notes, you see the writing and symbols on the wall around the mural. Words and symbols that are unfamiliar and strange to you, yet somehow instill a feeling of respect and awe, even though you cannot understand their meaning. You take out Tenzin's papers and begin to read the instructions. You pick up the dagger and the cup. Following the instructions, you start by facing east, touching your forehead. Ate. Then you touch your chest, right and left shoulder, and say, Malkuth, Vegebura, Vegebula. You put the handle of the knife just below the sternum and push as hard as you can. Leolam, you mumble, as a tingling pain shoots out from your breast like an electrical current, making you nauseous. You spit into the cup, seeing with your mind's eye how it fills with a black, steaming fluid. Amen. You walk around the room 3 times, making fast-paced exhales. You visualize how the branches of the trees reach out from the mural, dipping its black mechanical limbs into the cup. Yahweh Adonai Eye Anata, Gebor Leolam Adonai. As the branches pull out of the cup, they arrange themselves into a giant mandala, an intricate moving geometric pattern of shifting colors swirling above the brazier, making it catch fire. You gasp at the sight, reaching into the flame and letting them lick your hand as you recite the mantra, Om Hirim Vajravarahi Hum Fa. Pulling out of the fire, your hands seem to be guided by an invisible force. Your fingers move across your neck, finding points that send a feverish sensation through your chest. You close your eyes, reciting the words, Ishiros Athanatos Parakletos. I wander through the charred lands. I travel under the protection of the most mighty and high Tetragrammaton. A faint warmth gradually embraces your body as you slowly open your eyes. That should be it, you think. You're too distracted to really consider what you're doing. You draw what needs to be drawn and you say what needs to be said. But your heart is not really in it. You just want this to be over. You walk to the other side of the room and pick up the chains when you suddenly hear something behind you. So, this is where you're hiding, a raspy voice says. It takes you a second or two to recognize Christian's voice. It's different, like something is stuck in his throat. Christian takes a step into the room. Now, under the light, you notice his gruesome visage. It has been brutalized and he is unrecognizable to you. The skin is peeled off in many places, leaving open gashes across his whole face. Most, if not all, of his teeth are missing and his gums are swollen and bleeding. Chunks of hair have been torn from his head, and the spots that still remain are all tangled up in blood-stained clumps. Christian, you say, finding your voice. What are you doing here? You're such a good actor. Always so fucking innocent, aren't you? He snarls. What do you mean? You know exactly why I'm here, he says, taking another step into the room. I'm here to make sure what's mine is mine. I don't, you start to say, but Christian cuts you off. You will not take this from me. I've worked too hard and sacrificed too much. I loved her. Loved who, Julia? I didn't kill her, you have to believe me. Of course you didn't, he scoffs. You would never have the strength to do that. You wouldn't be able to make that sacrifice. You're not sure what to say. You were so beautiful, he whispers. It was sublime. You know when you're staring out into a stormy sea, how small you feel, how insignificant you are. But at the same time, you're one with it, you know. I don't understand, you say. My hands around her throat, her blue swollen face. I saw the tree of iron in her bloodshot eyes, and it was so beautiful, so majestic. You killed her? You ask, taking a deep breath. Yes, Christian says in a cold and focused voice. You feel dizzy, like you're about to fall. Why? How can you not get it, he snarls. She was like a mother to me. That's why I did it. I don't understand. It's my greatest sacrifice. I am to be the priest that leads the flock to the tree of iron. You don't say anything. You just feel a sudden cold creep up your spine. Don't worry, he says. I don't really consider you a threat anymore. I don't think you're capable of making a greater sacrifice than me. You're a follower and not a leader. I know I can trust you to follow me. Why are you here? You whisper, as you see something dark moving behind Christian. I am here to complete my great sacrifice, and I brought a witness with me. You feel another chill and suddenly feel nauseous. That's when you notice the jet black barbed wire around his hands. You can sense something moving behind you, and you hear a faint voice humming, singing a hymn that is now familiar to you. You turn around, and there they are, Cain. The being's pale face stares at you. That strange black-toothed grin of metal teeth with lips stapled into their skull. Cain's long ornamental robes flow as they slowly enter the room. Every sound except Cain's voice goes quiet, and all the light is consumed by their presence. Time seems to stand still as the being moves around the room like they're leading a procession. Their movements are unnaturally fast. Cain seems to move from frame to frame in a film. You never see their legs move. It's like they're floating. The rest of the body is locked in a prayer position, hand clasps, eyes fixed somewhat in the far distance. Cain keeps outside the circle drawn on the floor, but then their eyes move to you. The hymn suddenly stops. Cain keeps moving around the room as they start to speak in their toneless, flat voice. You, Cain turns to Christian. You came a long way. However, I sense no ultimate sacrifice. Why is that? Christian slowly turns and looks at you. The one I love is no more here. This will be my final sacrifice. You look at Christian. His face twitches, and he licks his lips with a look of an insatiable desire, a hunger for pain and humiliation that you know so well. But his eyes tell a different story, an expression of bottomless sadness. Does this really need to end in bloodshed? Could there be a way to save him? Christian pulls out a knife and starts to walk towards you. I'm sorry. There's not much time to act. Christian comes closer with the knife in a grip so tight that his knuckles are turning white. Something tells you that he can be reasoned with, though. He is someone that you love and that you know loves you. There must be a way to reach him. His eyes start back and forth. There's sweat on his brow and his breathing is heavy. He's afraid, more than afraid, that you've ever seen him. You look at Christian and hang your head in sorrow. You're right, Christian. I'm not the leader the group needs. I'm just not fit to lead. I belong as part of the flock. The lights flicker, and you can sense Cain staring at you from outside the circle. Christian straightens his hunched back, no longer looking like a beaten dog. You're the one to lead us, Christian. I would follow you anywhere, and you know that. Christian lowers his knife and looks at you. You can see in his eyes that he still cares for you. Thanks, he says in a thick voice. Don't worry, I don't consider you a threat. I don't think you're capable of making a greater sacrifice than me. You're a follower, not a leader. I know I can trust you. Christian sounds softer now, more reassuring. I feel bad for Julia and for you, but I'm the one making the sacrifice here. I want you to understand that. Yes, I can see that, you say. I know this isn't easy for you. I can't even imagine what you must feel like now. Christian looks down at his feet, not answering. I'm ready, you say. There's no reason to hesitate. This is what I want. Christian starts moving towards you again, his grip around the knife tightening. There's just one thing I ask of you, you say, meeting his gaze. He hesitates a second. What? Let me choose the way to go, please. Christian looks unsure, but takes a deep breath. I will do that for you, of course. Thank you, Christian. You point at the chair. My parents made that as a way to experience pain in unspeakable ways. To use it would make me feel closer to them. I think you understand. Christian looks at the chair and then back at you. He nods. Thank you, you whisper. When I'm done, I will pull the lever. Will you hold my hand? This is my chance, you think, as you quickly sit down. You glance at Cain, seeing their eyes narrow as they come closer to the edge of the circle. Without hesitation, you pull the helmet over your head and tighten the straps, keeping your head in a fixed position. There's a roar and a loud crashing sound, like storm winds mixed with too loud static. Cain throws themselves against the edge of the circle, but as they do, fire shoots up from the floor. It's holding the being out, for now. You know you need to make sure everything is right, otherwise the nail through your head could kill you. You need to act fast, and you can feel Cain eyeing you. As you start to pull the lever, you freeze. Suddenly, you're unable to move. Confused, you look up to see Cain's black eyes meeting yours from outside the circle. Cain's cold voice reverberates in your head as the being hisses. You owe me. I'm sure you remember that now. And suddenly, you do remember. Death. You were never able to understand how you could remember death until now. Death claimed you, and you found yourself in that dark room beneath the deep waters. In these shadows, you could hear Cain breathe and see a faint glimmer from those black, shiny teeth. I can send you back again if you want. Just know that a piece of your soul will be mine to keep. Yes, was all you could say, and then you rose through the water back into life. Cheating death always comes at a price. You finally comprehend the creature's hold on you. They led you astray. They made you a captive of fates they decided. If you don't overcome them now, you never will. You hurry, strapping your arms and upper body to the chair. You do your best to recall what the writing said. Where in the head to insert the nail, how long it should remain, how fast you should pull it out. There are so many parameters to consider, and you try to remember the incantation. You close your eyes, your jaw clenches, and your legs twitch endlessly. Just meters away from you, the raging fire from the circle is about to fade, and outside the circle you can hear Cain scream. Then you pull the lever connected to the nail, and with a trembling voice, you speak the incantation. Time seems to stand still as the black nail shoots out from the helmet and penetrates your skull. Darkness overcomes you. The sound around you fades, the fire around you dies, and you can feel Cain's heavy breathing just behind your back. You open your eyes and gasp, first in surprise and then in horror. "I can see it all," you whisper. "The Tree of Iron. I know what it means now. The severity of the punishment, the mercy and the pacifying lie. I know why the pilgrimage must be done. A blessing awaits." Then, you feel how the expression on your face suddenly changes. The strain of horror and awe is replaced by serenity and calm. But it's a dead calm. It's the feeling of every care in your body being replaced by a simple void. Your jaw falls open, your muscles relax. There's no point to this. There's no point to anything really, but you don't care either way. You close your eyes and fall into a deep sleep. Behind you, the darkness fades and the silhouette of Cain slowly disappears. You made it out alive, you and Christian. The years to come are actually more pleasant than anything you've experienced before. Christian cares for you. He has to. You don't have anyone else and you're unable to do most things on your own. You go on long walks together. He pushes your wheelchair and talks, telling you about his family and what they were like and how he grew up. He always asks about your parents. You can't answer. You've lost the ability to speak, but you appreciate the kindness. Sometimes he looks sad when you don't reply. The youthful gleam in his eyes has been replaced by a serene expression of someone who has loved and lost. Either way, your feelings are not there anymore. You're just empty. Occasionally, though, an emotion creeps in, a memory that used to mean something. Just the other day, when Christian was slicing tomatoes, he cut his finger. Almost automatically, he put the finger to his mouth to stop the bleeding. You could sense something stir in you, a sensation of fight or flight, like a frightened animal looking for a way out. But then, it's all back to feeling nothing again. This was our final episode of Deep Waters, a new scenario for Kult Divinity Lost, published by Helmgast. If you want to know where your solo adventure takes you, please check it out in the links below and order your own copy. If you like what we do here at Lorefall, please consider checking out our Patreon for early and ad-free access to future videos. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to our channel so YouTube knows that we're doing something right. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, this is Lorefall.